Welcome to today's Explainer. It's absolutely fascinating how, whenever human engineering hits a massive computational brick wall, we almost always find out that biology already solved the exact same problem millions of years ago. Today, we're looking at algorithms inspired by ant colonies, bird flocks, and even DNA. We're going to discover how these brilliant biological blueprints are helping us solve the seemingly impossible. Okay, let's dive into this. Let's start with a classic combinatorial challenge, the knapsack problem. Imagine you're trying to pack the perfect bag. You've got a strict 3-kilogram weight limit and a whole pool of items in front of you, each with a specific weight and a specific value. The goal? Pack the absolute highest value combination without going over that weight limit. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, for 5 items, sure. A computer can check every single combination in milliseconds. But combinatorial spaces explode exponentially. If you bump that up to just 50 items, you're suddenly looking at over a quadrillion combinations. To put that into perspective, brute forcing that, checking every single one, would take a standard computer about 3.5 billion years. Jump to 71 items, and there are literally more combinations than atoms in the solar system. We simply do not have the time. So, moving on to Section 1, Nature's Clever Search Algorithms. To capture nature's brilliance and get around this massive time crunch, computer scientists rely on what we call meta-heuristics. Instead of exhaustively searching those quadrillions of combinations one by one, a meta-heuristic acts like a super smart, guided trial-and-error strategy. It navigates massive solution spaces intelligently. Sure, you're sacrificing absolute, guaranteed mathematical perfection, but you're finding an incredibly high-quality solution in a fraction of the time. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to Section 2, Ants, Flocks, and Genes. Let's look at the ant colony optimization algorithm, or ACO. Picture this: blind ants wandering randomly. When they find food, they head back to the nest, leaving a pheromone trail behind them. Now, because shorter paths take less time to travel end to end, they start accumulating pheromones way more rapidly than the longer routes. Human engineers actually use this exact same chemical trail logic to solve massive, complex routing problems for global logistics networks. It's wild. The golden rule here is follow the smell, then let it fade. You see, optimization isn't just about reinforcing the good answers. It's absolutely crucial that we actively delete the bad ones. The fading, or the evaporation, is just as important as the pheromone itself. Think about it. Without evaporation, the ants would just get permanently stuck on the very first passable path they stumbled across. Evaporation ensures that only the truly optimal, shortest path survives the test of time. But, hold on, what if the solution isn't a path? Ants are brilliant for sequential routing, for sure, but our knapsack problem from earlier isn't a path. It's a discrete combination of items. For non-sequential problems like that, we have to shift our inspiration to a completely different biological powerhouse, Darwinian evolution. Answer the genetic algorithm. Here, we actually encode every possible backpack combination as a sort of chromosome. We generate a random population of these answers, score their fitness against our 3-kilogram weight limit, and then we just let natural selection take over. The highest scoring combinations act as parents, they cross over their best traits, undergo slight random mutations just to keep things diverse, and generation by generation, the solutions literally evolve until we hit the jackpot. All right, Section 3, the meta-heuristic master pattern. So the crucial point here is that beneath all these biological metaphors, whether we're talking about chemical pheromones or genetic mutations, there is a universal 5-step engine driving the whole thing. First, you initialize a random population of possible answers. Second, evaluate their fitness. Third, they share information based on a distinct social rule. Fourth, they update their positions toward better answers. And finally, you just repeat that loop over and over until time runs out or you find a viable solution. And this brilliantly illustrates how it's all exactly the same search machine, just wearing different costumes. For ants, the candidate is a path and the social rule is pheromones. Look at birds with particle swarm optimization. The candidate is the bird's physical position, moving toward the flock's collective memory. For genetic algorithms, it's a chromosome using parental mixing. It's one underlying mathematical framework, just speaking multiple biological languages. Now, to really visualize what this engine is navigating, picture a fitness landscape. Imagine all your possible answers mapped out as coordinates on the ground. And the elevation? That's the solution's quality. The algorithm is blindly wandering this terrain, trying to climb to the highest peak, the global optimum. But here's the catch. The landscape is full of local optimums. These are smaller, decoy hills that can completely trap an algorithm into thinking it's reached the absolute top, when really, the true peak is miles away. Which perfectly leads into Section 4, the explore-exploit balance. Avoiding those local optimum traps relies on a massive, fundamental tension: explore versus exploit. It's kind of like the Goldilocks principle of computer science. Exploration means spreading your population out to discover entirely new, uncharted regions of the map. Exploitation means aggressively zooming in to refine the best region you've currently found. Overexplore, you'll just wander forever and never commit to a final answer. Overexploit too early, your population stampedes up a fake peak and gets permanently trapped. The truly successful algorithms smoothly transition from wide exploration to highly focused exploitation. Now for Section 5, the no free lunch theorem. So you're probably wondering, which biological algorithm is the undisputed king? Well, there's a fundamental law in computer science that keeps the entire field honest, and it's called the no free lunch theorem. It basically states that averaged over all possible problems, every optimizer performs exactly equally. There is literally no unbeatable algorithm. If a specific strategy perfectly exploits the structure of our knapsack problem, it will mathematically fail at routing delivery trucks. Optimization is all about matching the right biological metaphor to the specific structure of your data. We've seen how chemical trails, selective breeding, and flocking instincts can slice through billions of years of computing time in mere seconds. But given that evolution has spent millions of years optimizing life for a perfectly chaotic universe, what other computationally impossible secrets is nature still hiding in its code? The solution to our next massive engineering hurdle might literally be crawling under a leaf right outside your window. Thanks so much for exploring with us.